You know those AI models we're all using every single day? Well, they're rapidly moving into a brand new home. Today, we're diving into a monumental shift that's happening right now over in Southeast Asia. We're talking about Malaysia's sudden explosive emergence as the region's new AI infrastructure powerhouse. And look, we aren't just talking about a couple of extra servers tucked away in a dusty office building somewhere. We are witnessing the rapid construction of massive, sprawling AI factories that are fundamentally altering the economic and physical landscape of the entire country. To really wrap your head around the sheer scale of what's happening, let me throw a number at you. 144 billion ringgit. That is the staggering total of recorded investment applications for physical data centers in Malaysia, and that's just from 2021 through the middle of 2025. I mean, it is a massive influx of capital. But what does this enormous figure actually mean for the country on the ground? Are these billions a golden ticket to a high-tech future? Or are they going to bring an entirely new set of unforeseen challenges to the local ecosystem? Okay, let's dive right into this. To understand the realities of this Malaysian AI gold rush, we're going to map out the current AI factory boom, the stark physical cost of running all this tech, how AI is learning to actually speak Malaysian, and finally, the ultimate bottleneck holding the whole thing back. Starting right off with part one, Malaysia's AI factory boom. So the epicenter of this modern-day tech rush is actually the southern state of Johor. But you might be wondering, why there? Well, you've got to look right across the border at neighboring Singapore. Singapore has traditionally been Southeast Asia's major tech hub, right? They've got incredible global connectivity. But back in 2019, they were facing severe constraints on land, power, and environmental sustainability, so they actually placed a moratorium on new data center approvals. Tech giants desperately needed a nearby alternative with abundant resources, and Johor was ready and waiting. Because of that, between July 2024 and June 2025, Malaysia captured a massive 32% of all AI-related investments in Southeast Asia. That's worth roughly $759 million US. And this incredible surge is being heavily driven by the new Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone, which is designed to deeply integrate cross-border digital economy and logistics. All right, moving on to part two, we really need to talk about the physical cost of AI. Because, look, we have to separate the hype from reality here. Industry leaders, like the Malaysian conglomerate YTL, are pointing out that we are moving way past traditional cloud servers and into this incredibly demanding era of what they're calling AI factories. To really grasp what an AI factory is, think about this comparison. Your traditional cloud data center uses standard air cooling and handles relatively lightweight tasks. You know, maybe a user does 20 to 30 standard Google searches over the course of a whole day. But an AI factory, it's an entirely different beast. It requires specialized, incredibly powerful chips and advanced liquid cooling just to prevent the whole setup from melting down. Generating a single response on an AI system uses 10 to 20 times the energy of a typical Google search. And users aren't just doing 20 simple searches a day anymore. They're rapidly firing off 20 to 30 complex prompts in just 10 minutes. The volume and intensity of usage have absolutely skyrocketed. Now, what's really interesting about this is how that immense power and cooling demand directly hits the local environment. I mean, these servers are incredibly thirsty. AI factories require industrial-scale clean water for their cooling towers. Right now, data centers operating in Johor use about 20 million liters of water a day, which, okay, is less than 1% of the state's total demand. But as all these new facilities come online, by 2030, the state is projected to need an additional 1,000 million liters a day in new supply. That's enough to seriously strain local utilities, especially considering Johor currently only has an 11% water reserve margin. Plus, they've faced some severe supply shocks in the past, like a crippling dry spell back in 2016. To protect local residents from footing the bill or running out of water, the government has actually stepped in. They're mandating strict tier pricing where industrial users pay more, and they're requiring new facilities to be highly water and energy efficient. Even with those regulations, the physical cost is still deeply felt on the ground. To put things into perspective, one expert starkly noted that a typical 300 megawatt data center today consumes twice the electricity of a city of 300,000 people and a third of the water. Each data center is effectively a mini city, and remember, they're building dozens of them. This very tangible human impact recently sparked actual protests. Over in the district of Geylang Pata, local residents literally took to the streets to protest the dust pollution from all the rapid construction and the sheer utilities demand of a data center being built just a stone's throw from their front doors.
Which brings us to part 3, AI that speaks Malaysian. So, with all these costs, why on earth is Malaysia so intent on building all of this massive hardware locally? Well, a huge part of it comes down to data sovereignty. They want to keep national and citizen data secure within local borders, strictly under local laws. But equally important is the need to train AI to truly understand local cultural nuances. Just listen to this typical food order. Hey boss, not top out 3 tauhus and 5 chongs, and I come back at 4 p.m. This brilliantly illustrates the language challenge AI faces in Southeast Asia. This is an example of Bahasa Rojak. It's a colloquial mixed language form of Malay that effortlessly blends formal Malay with slang, English, Mandarin, Tamil, and local dialects. If you fed that to early global AI models like ChatGPT, it would probably just get confused and order you a plain salad. That is exactly why localized large language models like YTL's Ilmu model are absolutely essential. They have to be trained from the ground up to understand how Malaysians actually speak, live, and do business.
But localizing AI isn't just a software problem, it's also driving some pretty incredible hardware innovation locally. Meet the Mars 1000. This is Malaysia's first edge AI chip, and it was designed by the company Skychip right over in Penang. Now, if you're not familiar, an edge chip is basically a specialized processor that computes AI tasks directly on a local device, like, say, a smart security camera. It does the heavy lifting right there, rather than constantly sending tons of data back and forth over the internet to some massive centralized cloud data center. Here is exactly how that keeps the data center power grid from just totally exploding. Imagine a smart camera set up at a retail store. Step 1, the camera captures a huge amount of raw visual data. Step 2, instead of sending all that heavy video straight to the cloud, the local edge chip processes and filters out the essential data entirely offline. Step 3, only the absolutely necessary data is sent back to the data center. And Step 4, this incredibly efficient process saves massive amounts of network bandwidth, significantly lowers the power draw on the data center grid, and vastly improves user privacy since most of the raw data stays completely local. Pretty smart, right? And that leads us perfectly into part 4, the ultimate AI bottleneck. So we've covered the boom, we've looked at the physical costs, and we've explored the local innovations. But now we've got to face a harsh macroeconomic reality. Massive data centers are notoriously poor job creators. Building all this shiny physical infrastructure does not automatically mint a thriving permanent local tech workforce. In fact, an analysis highlighted that data centers create just 1 permanent job for every $13 million invested. Once the construction crews pack up and head home, big tech data centers often employ fewer than 150 permanent workers per site. So the crucial point is, if Malaysia stops at just hosting the physical infrastructure layer, they're absolutely not going to create the widespread tech employment they're aiming for. However, to be fair, there is a strong counter-perspective here if you look at the surrounding supply chain. While the server halls themselves lack jobs, the companies supporting them are actually hiring pretty rapidly. Take Wiwin, for example. They're a Taiwanese server manufacturer setting up in Johor just to supply these new data centers. Initially, their project targeted employing about 500 people. But barely 3 years in, by April 2026, they were employing 3,700 people, with projections to hit a whopping 5,000 jobs next year. And crucially, more than 90% of those 5,000 employees are expected to be Malaysians. Still, just capturing the manufacturing supply chain isn't the whole ballgame. For Malaysia to evolve from a physical host into a true center of AI innovation, they face several really steep hurdles. First, the country has to move from just providing the infrastructure up to the high-value application layer, meaning they need to actually build the AI software businesses of the future. To pull that off, they have to overcome an estimated shortage of 10,000 AI-skilled workers. They also need to reverse a 5.5% brain drain rate, which is noticeably higher than the global average. On the funding side, they have to close a massive venture capital gap, because right now Malaysia attracts about 10 times less VC funding than neighboring Singapore. To fight this and stimulate local creation, the government actually launched the AI Sandbox program, and they've set a highly ambitious goal of incubating 900 new AI startups by 2026. Which brings us to the ultimate question facing the nation today. Malaysia has successfully built the infrastructure, but can it build the innovation? The data center boom in Johor is incredibly real, and the billions pouring in are visibly reshaping the landscape as we speak. But as we've seen throughout this explainer, conquering that human talent bottleneck and transitioning from just being a host for physical servers into a thriving, self-sustaining software ecosystem, well, that is the only way Malaysia secures its place as a true AI hub for the next generation. I'll leave you to ponder that vital question.